Hi guys! Alright, I have another new stamp set from the May 2019 Blue Night Rubber Stamps release. And this one is called Cowboy Don't Look Back. And just like the other sets, you have a large silhouette image, a small silhouette image, and then Don't Look Back, you're not headed that way. Really cute sentiment, right? I am going to pair this with the set that was released not too long ago. This is called Galloping Horses, and this is also a silhouette in which you get a large set, a medium set, a small set, and you also get the grass. And I just couldn't resist thinking about this guy here lassoing some of these horses, right? And I really liked the background. So we're going to mimic this background a little bit and make a couple cards here. I'm going to be using the Distress Oxides. So I have Wilted Violet, Picked Raspberry, and Broken China. And they have their own little applicators. And I have some Nina Solar White. I do not believe this is Bristol Smooth. I believe it's just Nina Solar White. Yeah. So we're going to try this and see how it comes out. So I'm going to start with the Wilted Violet. And I'm going to work off the page and work my way in. Yeah, I can tell this is not Bristol Smooth because it's soaking right into the paper and not blending very well. I'm going to keep going here, and then I'm going to go grab a piece of Bristol Smooth so you guys can see the difference. Next color I'm going to use is Picked Raspberry. I mean, it doesn't look too awful bad, but it's just really different than using Bristol Smooth. And then Broken China. By the way, I've cut this paper down to 5 1/4 by 4 panels. And here you can really see where it's just not blending. So this is really where it makes a difference with paper. I mean, this is really good paper for stamping and Copic coloring, but just not great when it comes to blending. And this just hot mess. So I will save this for another project. Let me go grab my Bristol Smooth. Okay, so I grabbed my Bristol Smooth pack. This is the Premier by Nicole brand, and again, I believe this is sold at AC Moore, I think. And I've cut that down to 5 1/4 by 4, and I'm just going to set this one aside, and we're going to do that again. Wipe my desk down here. Okay. So starting again with the Wilted Violet. What a difference already. Raspberry. And you can use regular distress inks too. I don't know, I've just been drawn towards the Distress Oxides lately. I think it's because they have a little bit of that chalky finish when they dry, so to me it looks more like a sunset. And then the last color is Broken China. And right in the center here where these colors meet, I'm just going to go back in and blend some more. Make it a little more seamless. All right. Do not tell me you cannot see the difference. I did the exact same technique on both cards, but this was Nina Solar White versus Bristol Smooth. Big difference. Beautifully smooth blending, not so smooth blending. Regular paper, Nina Solar White Classic Crest. Bristol Smooth paper. Big, big difference. I'm going to do one more so we can make 2 cards here. Ooh, what's going on with my tool there? Okay. I have one more panel cut, so I want to do 2 so we can make 2 cards at once here. Just because I have all of my supplies out. And let's start with the broken china. Okay. All right. One more swipe with the blue. Why does my tablet keep beeping at us today? Too much work going on. It's getting lazy. All right. So I think those 2 backgrounds look beautiful. I'm going to move my inks and my mini distress tools out of the way. I'm just going to set these panels off to the side for a second and wipe the mat down. Really does make it easy with this mat. Probably, let's see. If I were to do a video on top things that I bought that I enjoy, this would be one of them. Stamping platform like the Misty or the Tim Holtz one. My Gemini Junior. My mini Mink. And the mini trimmer from Tonic. Alright, so now we have these 2 good panels. I'm not going to do anything with that bad panel. I think I stuck my finger in this one. So the only thing you got to be careful of with these is you want to make sure that you're not sticking your fingers in them. Okay. Oh, and microfiber towels. I use these microfiber towels for everything. Okay, so I think I like it better with the blue down and it going up into pink and purple in the sky. Okay, so I am going to use my mini Misty And because these are red rubber stamps, we are going to take out our little foam pad here. We don't need that. And I'm going to start with the grass. So, let's see here. And I want that all the way down to the bottom. All right. Making sure it looks straight on my lid. All right. Now, I like silhouette stamps because to me they're very easy to use. I mean, you just do like a nice background and then all you have to do is ink up your image. What I don't like is it does take a couple of inkings. So I am going to use some VersaFine Clair Nocturne ink. I have my little Blue Night Rubber Stamps handle on there. And it takes sometimes 3, 4, or even 5 times of inking before you get a solid image. But it's worth it for these silhouette stamps because they are just so beautiful. Ooh, that came out pretty good for the first time. All right, let's do it again. Little handles do make it easy with holding the ink pads. Pretty good. One more time, I think will be good. What's happening is the Distress Oxide ink is not completely dry and it's actually absorbing the black ink. So let me clean the stamp off. Go in with some fresh ink. I'm going to take the heat tool real quick to the image. Dry that a little bit. Ink it up again. All right, that looks pretty good. The corners lifted, but the reason they lifted is because this ink, excuse me, really sticks down to the paper. And so when it does that, it causes like a suction, and then that suction lifts, and what happens is it actually lifts the ink back up onto the stamp instead of leaving it on the paper. I just want to give that a second to transfer. Sometimes also it helps to kind of just rotate your MISTI and rub it at different angles so that it can push some of those air bubbles out from beneath the stamp. All right. I am going going to heat that again and see if I can get a little more. Get that ink to dry a little more. And go in one more time. I think we should be okay. I know I keep saying that, but I really want it to look good because this card might end up at a display at Blue Knight Rubber Stamps, and I want you guys to go to the shows and say, oh, I saw Nancy make that, because that really makes me happy when you guys say that kind of stuff. All right, I am not going to mess with it anymore. I think I'm going to leave it alone. So let me show you guys here. So it's lifted on the corners here. They're not 100% black, but the rest of the stamp is pretty good. I don't know if the camera's going to pick that up. And if I were making this for, you know, a regular card, it probably wouldn't bother me. It bothers me because I do want this to be sent to Blue Knight Rubber Stamps so they can have it on display. So I really want it to look good. Okay. I'm wondering if I should change. I might change inks. Let's see how we do with archival ink. See if that works any better. Yeah. Okay, we're going to do the archival ink from now on. That actually was a lot better. That's solid black now. All right, I'm going to clean my stamp off again. And before I take it off, I'm going to take this card panel off. Place it aside, bring this other one in. Okay, let's do that again. That's not too bad. Okay. It's a really neat set of stamps. They're cowboy themed stamps, and I think these are great for masculine cards. I mean, country cards. It's just a great theme that I don't think we see enough of out there. There's a lot of, you know, like cowboy boots and guitars and trucks and stuff like that. But to have the actual cowboys and cowgirls in this set are so nice. And they really pair well with some of the other Blue Knight Rubber Stamp sets. You have, you know, the barn, the galloping horses. I think it's really cool to have these. Definitely had me being creative and thinking outside my comfort zone on how I was going to design these. Really cool. All right, I'm going to heat set this a little bit. go in and try one more coating here. Because the fun of having silhouette stamps is to make sure that they are super black. Alright, that's not too bad. I promise this is the last one. Okay, I'm done with the grass. Okay, now all we want to do is figure out how we can add our rodeo guy. I'm going to move this since this one's already wet. Bring this other one back in, and look how smoothly that panel dried. That looks pretty cool. Okay, so we want him kind of over here, rounding up the horses. And I'm going to move him. And then I'm going to use the larger horses out of this set. Oh, they're going to come off the edge a little bit. We might have to go to a little bit larger stamp tool. Let's see here. That should be good. Okay. Yep, we're going to have to go to the larger one. Or do one stamp at a time, but I feel like stamping everything all at once. So let's put this one away. Okay, and we're going to use the Tim Holtz one, and we have the word rubber size side up. And I'm going to butt my panel all the way up to the corner. And again, going to put our cowboy here as close to the edge as I can get it. And then the horses just happen to be running away from him. Maybe they're ponies, because clearly they're a little smaller than he is. Okay. Now, let's ink this up and see how it looks. Hopefully it looks good, because I did not practice this before and had this idea in my head all day. Okay, first time stamping it's not going to look great. It never does, but it gives you an idea where you're at with your placement, and then we'll go back in and re-ink it. Oh, I'm off camera because the stamping tool is so big. You guys can't see what I'm doing. Why didn't anybody say anything? All right. That doesn't look half bad. It does look like they're really small horses, though. Like they're tiny little ponies. So you're just going to have to imagine that the ponies are far off and he's a lot closer. Yeah, that's what we're going to have to imagine here. Let's do this again. Might have to change their placement. Maybe move him a little closer. Move the ponies a little further. Maybe on the next one. Let's see here. They're miniature horses. That's what it is. One time I paid at one of the fairs to see a miniature horse, smallest horse ever, blah blah blah, and all it was like a little pony. And I was really mad because it was in this little like cage, and I was like, "Aw, that poor little pony." Like this guy just made me pay $5 or whatever it was to go see this poor little pony in this little bitty cage. I'm really not happy about that. Okay, our silhouette images are looking pretty good here. I think the horses are pretty good. Mr. Cowboy is still a little spotty in the middle. I'm going to wipe the horses down. Actually going to take them off. Just focus on our cowboy. All right. Now here, I wiggled a little too much, and so you can see my cowboy's out of alignment. So this is why I made 2 cards. So 1, I think I need to move my horses back further, and 2, bring the cowboy forward a little more and stop wiggling it. So let me bring in that other one. So I'll still keep this one and use that in another card for another day. Wipe that down. And I got to remember not to wiggle. Stamp up and down, no wiggling. Take 2. Okay. I'm actually going to move him further down on the card so he looks like he's a little closer. Clean him up pretty good. All right. Let's try that again. So I'm going to move him way down on the paper here so he looks really close. And let's just stamp him all by himself without the horses. See how we do here. Try not to wiggle. Wiggle it just a little bit. Okay, but this case, don't wiggle it. No wiggling. Up and down. That's not bad. It does look like he's a little closer here. I'm going to heat set real quick. He's almost done. We're doing really good with him. Do I stamp it one more time or leave it alone? I'm going to leave it alone. I think that's pretty good. Don't mess with it, Nance. Leave it alone. All right. Now, for our little ponies, I think we should make them a little higher, like running away, so they don't look so close, like they're really far, far away. So far away. So I kind of move them up on the paper a little bit, and I have them running off the page. And I'm going to make sure my paper is always in this top corner. Run free, horses, run free, free and wild. Oh, stop wiggling, Nance. Down and up. It doesn't look too bad. That actually stamped pretty well the first time. My horses are done. I think that looks better. They look like they're off further in the sunset and he's closer in the foreground. Very carefully remove my panel. That looks pretty good. Much better. Clean up my mess. Okay, now we have a wonderful sentiment with this set, which says, don't look back, you're not headed that way, which actually I do kind of like with the running horses. However, I feel like you got it. I need some clouds in here. So let me heat set this real quick. We don't want to take our chance and smudge anything. And I'm just going to add some fluffy clouds, and I just match the Distress Oxides in that layer. So for the top here, I'm going to do some purple over here, and I'm not going to go all the way across. Then I'm going to tilt the stencil a little bit and do some more over here. Okay. Now I'm going to move some of that fluffiness over here and very lightly do a little more. And then over here. Now, if you feel like there is too much of a harsh line between your clouds, like your clouds just look too fake, all you're going to do is go back in with your distress tool and lightly sweep over that, and it will soften some of those lines. And I'm going to do one more layer with the pink. And I'm trying not to stencil over the Cowboy because I don't want that chalky look on my Cowboy. So I'm kind of going around him. Okay. I think that looks pretty darn good. And then we just mount it to a card panel and we are done. So again, we are using the brand new Cowboy Don't Look Back stamp set from Blue Knight Rubber Stamps. We accented it with the Galloping Horses set. We used some Distress Oxide inks on Bristol paper. And yes, this cloud stencil is also from Blue Knight Rubber Stamps. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, I appreciate your thumbs up. If you have any questions, post them in the link and comments down below. I'll be happy to answer them for you. And go check out some of the other stamps from the other design team members at Blue Knight Rubber Stamps. And you can order any of these stamps. I will post them down below for you guys. And as always, thanks for watching. And right on, partner. Have a good night, guys.